Joining me in the studio this afternoon is Eugene Martin. He is an artist, and he will have an exhibit during Art Walk this coming Saturday. The opening reception.
What I've read, you have some beautiful things to say about your art.
Well...
So maybe we can just start off, how would you describe your artwork for someone who's never seen it before?
I call it satirical abstract.
Satirical abstract?
That's what I call it. Most people...
How do you get satire into abstract art?
Well, you listen. Yeah, listen to the show.
Well, now, Saturday Art Walk here in Lafayette has gotten really big, so lots of people have been going downtown to see these exhibits. My first reaction is color. Lots of color in your paintings. I noticed a couple times people calling you a very skilled colorist, that you have this beautiful sense of color and combining colors. How did you get that sense of color?
Well, I by not doing all the assignments in art school.
Ooh, I don't know if the art professors want to hear you say that.
They didn't like that. But I figured if I'm going to do color and be unique about it, I have to discover it myself.
Right.
And that's what I did.
Now, you went to, you're from Washington, D.C., and you went to art school in Washington, D.C. at the, what was the name of the Corcoran, right? And so you spent a lot of time doing your own artwork, not always following assignments. And you've had lots of exhibits over the years. You've shown here in the United States, you've shown in Europe, lots of different galleries. So lots of people have been attracted to your work. How do you feel that your artwork has progressed from the time you started until now?
When I started, I was doing realism, portraits, but I didn't find it very challenging. To me, it wasn't a challenge. Abstraction became much more of a challenge because I had to go within. Realism has to do with how skillful you are, how well you see, and you learn techniques, how to do shadow and light and form, and how to manipulate light. But abstract art, I'd go within.
Right.
And so I had to believe in myself, have a lot of faith, have a lot of courage, and a lot of hard work.
Right, and there was an article in, I believe it was The Advertiser, not too long ago, talking about your work, and obviously you believe in your artwork a lot, because the reporter described stacks and stacks and stacks of painting in your home. So you're very prolific, you work a lot.
I did my whole life. See, I refuse to be distracted. And I must, and I'd have always maintained focus and persistence.
Right.
And work. I was always a hard worker, so it was easy for me to just continue to work.
Right.
I didn't go out and party. I didn't party much. I just worked. I didn't go. I joined groups. I never joined groups because, they were always complaining about the government not supporting the arts. No, I feel you as an artist, you work.
Well, obviously you have been working, just looking at the photographs of all of those paintings. Now, the exhibit that's being put in place right now at Gallery Lafayette downtown is called The Gravy Train People and Their Pets. Now, your titles are very specific, very humorous. How do you find assigning titles to your abstract pieces?
Well, if you read the titles, you'll see that there's, pretty much just what you think, what the title of the show reveal. And it's easy because I have a good sense of humor. I don't take myself too serious. I was always able to laugh at myself and I laugh at people, so I have a mind of a cartoonist in a way.
Well, let's talk a bit about the cartoons that are in this exhibit.
No cartoons in there.
No, not cartoons in that sense that you're talking about, but the mind of a cartoonist, obviously extracting things from your inner self and the world around you. How did you get the title, The Gravy Train People and Their Pets?
First, the title had to sound good to me. Had to sound good. Had to be poetic. And if you can imagine a train that was very groovy. Gravy, so you say groovy gravy. Easy train where everybody's individual, everybody's having fun, everybody's original. Somehow it makes sense to me. It would be called a gravy train.
So you have the mind of a poet also.
Well, it would be called a gravy train. It came very easy.
And how about their pets? How did the pets get in there?
Well, most people have animals, and to me, pets are pretty much part of the family.
Well, one of
it's like their kids, like their children. So why not include the pets? Very few people have in art shows. So I figured that's just part of life. That's part of the family. So I include, because I do animals too.
Well, I guess the image that I have here that is on the card for the exhibit is called My Sick Puppy. And where did that idea come from?
Well, very intuitive. I look at it, and the words come to me. So I guess I have a mind of a poet. I guess it just comes, and when it comes, I trust, have faith in what I feel, what I see, and so I let the title stay with it.
So once the image is born, once you've created the painting, you name it.
Yeah. I reluctantly name it. I'd rather not name it, but I have to.
But those of us who go to exhibits love to see titles.
Yeah, but I don't want the title to say too much, because people see the title and they don't see the work. They look at the title, they don't look at the work.
They stop there.
Yeah, so I want the title to be have just enough mystery to it.
That it will intrigue them further to look further. Yeah.
So, that's what the titles. Yeah, so I use the titles. Sometimes it's philosophical. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But it's fine. That's fine.
Because sense comes later.
People have to look at it. So,
how many paintings are in this exhibit?
I think there's about 110 maybe.
That's a lot of work.
Well, according to what I have, that's nothing. That's we got to cut pieces and work out. You have to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
It just comes out of you.
Yeah.
And I do have to tell people, you had a stroke a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the things you have continued doing is your art.
Yeah.
And how do you find that works? How has that helped you?
Well, it's very difficult, but I've worked. So I had to work always, so I just continue. The struggle is a struggle, but I just do it.
Do you find, you said that one of the reasons you paint abstract is that sense of going into yourself. Do you find that sense changed at all or deepened?
No. Pretty much the same.
You've always been a very deep, sensitive person, so...
Well, I've been a person who loved to just sit low and think. And that was my great pleasure. And the more profound the thought, the greater the pleasure for me. Right. So I'm one of those people.
In reading some of the articles about you, in your description of yourself as a child, you were quite poor, and you didn't have materials, as you said, things that you could actually create with.
No.
And I love that description of one of the reasons you went into yourself was to create inside because you didn't have the paints and the colors to actually create outside.
But I found that paints and colors were cheaper than other material.
I see our engineer sort of waving us over here, and so we're going to have to tell people again who are just tuning in that I'm speaking with Eugene Martin. He is an artist, and he has an exhibit that will open this coming Saturday. This is Second Saturday Art Walk in downtown Lafayette. It's going to be in Gallery Lafayette, and the title of the exhibit is The Gravy Train People and Their Pets. If people would like to see some of your work beforehand, there's a website where they can go to, and I believe it's part of your wife's website. She's a professor here at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, Suzanne Fredericq. So if they go to her website here at the university, there's a way to get to your paintings so they can see some of them, a little preview before the exhibit opens. And so we look forward to that exhibit, and we look forward to many more years of work. Thank you so much for coming.
Lafayette, Suzanne Fredericq. So if they go to her website here at the university, there's a way to get to your paintings so they can see some of them, a little preview before the exhibit opens. And so we look forward to that exhibit, and we look forward to many more years of work. Thank you so much for coming.
Performing with the Quartetto Italiano, with the quintet for piano, 2 violins, viola, and cello in F minor, opus 34 by Johannes Brahms. It's 45 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. This is Public Radio for Acadiana, KRVS, 88.7 FM, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Stay tuned at 4 p.m. this afternoon. We'll be joining NPR for All Things Considered. And at 5:30, it's Marketplace, followed at 6 by an hour of fresh air with your host, Terri Gross. That's all coming up this afternoon, right here on KRVS. We continue with afternoon classics. The composer, Otorino Respighi, Italian composer. One of his masterworks, The Pines of Rome. In this recording, Herbert von Karajan conducts the Berlin Philharmonic.